software that is pirated should not be used. Pirated copy has no security.
Ransomware attack. NITDA says Nigeria's cyberspace not compromised.
We leave no stone unturned to ensure that our cherished cultural legacies and values are transmitted from one generation to the other.
Indigenous languages under threat of extinction. Information Minister calls for urgent action. Criminal hideouts and enclaves between Federal Capital and Nasarawa State reclaimed to wear new look. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stover. The offensive maneuver employed usually by anonymous sources to either steal, alter or destroy a specific target or system is on the increase. Investigation shows that the current attack, known as WannaCry, is the biggest attack in recent times. In this report, Adebola Brookslyn Sunday takes a look at the causes, solutions and preventive measures.
That sound is not that of a cat, but the continuous attack of the cyberspace. The current cyber attack affecting computers across the world, known as ransomware or WannaCry, spreads itself between computers and does not require human interaction. It resists access to affected systems as well as demand the payment of ransom. Isa Ali Pantami is the Director General of National Information Technology Development Agency. He suggests some precautionary measures.
We should always make sure that we use operating system that is well secured, because if you allow the system of the government to be compromised, then you will put the country in trouble. So that is why all MDS should comply with this. Any software that is pirated should not be used. Pirated copy has no security. Number 3, they should make sure that they have up-to-date antivirus to be updating their systems. And number 4, which is very critical, any data we have that we know is very important, there must be backup. And whenever there is any attack or they see anything suspicious, they should immediately alert us.
Out of the about 150 countries hit by the WannaCry cyber attack, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are the worst hits.
So that is why we took some precautionary measures of like creating public awareness, and particularly MDS that are using Windows XP, Windows 8, Windows 2003, they should immediately try to see that they replace them.
Other experts in information technology also suggested ways out of the challenges.
They affected more than 200,000 systems. So that's to tell you that every country is vulnerable, but we need to step up cybersecurity in this country. We need to be more serious. It's a wake-up call for government, for organizations, and for individuals. And also there's a need to make sure that we lock down our login. Make sure that you have a very strong password, have what we call a two-factor authentication.
Once you find out that you are attacked, try to disconnect from every network you're connected to. It is important because as long as you're on that network, every other device on that same network would also be affected.
Indiscriminate use of wireless connections, experts say, should also be avoided.
Attackers succeed as they take advantage of outdated operating systems. NITDA therefore recommends that individuals and organizations should regularly update their operating systems with the latest patches and avoid downloading or opening any unsolicited files and attachments. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
And I'm being joined right now by Abdul Hakim Ajijola, cybersecurity expert. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for inviting me, Cyril.
Ransomware, WannaCry, how do we protect ourselves from this?
Well, I think some of the resource persons that have already spoken have put it very well. Please update. But at the same time, when you receive an email, you don't have to open the attachment if you're not sure about it. You don't have to click on the link if you're not sure about it. You need to use some level of common sense. But I think the big takeaway for us as a country is that there is an opportunity here. We can create a cybersecurity solutions industry driven by people below 35 years of age. And just as a matter of interest, the African cybersecurity market was in 2015 valued at about $1 billion. By 2016, its value is estimated to go up to $3.6 billion. what piece of this action is Nigeria? Remember, this is only Africa. What piece of this action is Nigeria and Nigerians? What are we going to get out of it? So I think I would call on government in this particular case not to do it, but to support and facilitate young people to set up the businesses, to acquire the skills, to be able to delve into this market and be the vanguard, be the cyber guard that clearly this country will need and will continue to require.
Now, they talked about caution. Don't use pirated software and regularly update. Well, the thing is, sometimes you find that hackers have found a way to get into what might seem genuine to you.
Correct.
And you're advised not to click. How do you begin to know what is
again,
genuine?
in life, there is a level of common sense. If you arrive at home in the evening and you believe there are some people that might be following you, I mean, common sense would dictate that you take some actions. So again, really, you have to be a bit cautious. But at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is that if you are specifically targeted, just like when thieves specifically target you, it's very, very difficult to deal with. But that being said, typically, you and I, as just ordinary people, are not directly targeted. So we do have to use some common sense. Usually, we open the door by clicking the link.
Right. Someone said the more sophisticated are the more prone you are to attacks. Is that real?
Not necessarily. Usually they're very targeted. For example, if I'm going to create a malware, I want something back. Typically, I would want some money, which would mean I would go for the financial sector.
Right.
If I want political clout, I would go for government.
Okay.
So
caution is to what you want.
Caution is the common sense with caution.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Going on to education now. An attack on a JAMB official by a candidate at a center in Abia State almost marred the examination in that area, but for the quick intervention of security agents. In spite of this, the Minister of State for Education, Professor Anthony Anwuka, has expressed satisfaction with the conduct of the examination nationwide. Franca Uzoma Olua has details.
It is day 2 of the ongoing Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination with 440,000 candidates participating. JAMB Registrar Professor Ishaq Oloyede says the incident in a center in Abia State is a case of a candidate who wanted to cut corners but could not succeed.
Some of these people going about telling people that they can give them questions. Even this morning, somebody sent me a question. Or they call it Origi, and he bought it for 200,000. And when I saw it was our question in 1984, and he just put 2017 on it. So if people are corrupt, I won't have any sympathy if they are extorted by corrupt people like themselves.
He says the result of last Saturday's examination is encouraging.
The performance is not too bad, but at least we are sure that that is the performance now, rather than thinking that you can get results one way or the other.
Meanwhile, the Minister of State for Education, Professor Anthony Anwuka, monitored the examination in 2 computer-based test centers in Abuja. Reports from JAMB indicate that some CBT centers in some parts of Abia, Bauchi and Niger states will conclude the examination this Monday. Franca Uzoma Olua, NTA News.
And staying with the UTME, candidates sitting for the examination were prevented from gaining access to the venue at the Laduke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, following a protest by students of the institution. Dayo Gunshola has the details.
The angry students blocked the 2 gates leading to their campus to protest the delay in the commencement of the second semester academic activities expected to have started since April 2017. The development prevented JAMB candidates from gaining access to their examination venue within the campus. The students claimed that if the future of those already admitted into the institution not secured, there may not be need for new students. They called on government to ensure that all contentious issues are promptly addressed.
The management keep posting us that we are going to visit our lecture very soon. Till now, there's no any lecture going on inside the school.
We are the only ones that don't have any reconsideration here.
On the average, I've been in Lautex in 2010, this 2017. I don't have extra year. It's because I did pre-degree. Now the question is, what chance do I stand with my mates that left school at the same time, or that has gone to other schools starting from 2012 and has graduated?
Few of the JAMB candidates that spoke to NTA News expressed deep concern over the unfortunate incident.
Just for us to come and then the gate has been shut, saying you are not going to write. It's not good.
Yes, it's 6 o'clock a.m. this morning, and I have not been able to do whatever I want to do here. Why? Why will that be?
Reacting to the development, the acting dean, student affairs of the institution, Dr. Jumadan Lukman, said stakeholders are already meeting to address the demand of the students.
We are working towards finding the lasting solution to the crisis, and that is why the Committee of Deans, of which I'm a member, we are meeting almost every day.
It will be recalled that LAUTECH was on strike for about 9 months recently, and salaries of workers are yet to be fully paid by the two owner state government of Oyo and Osun. In Bumusho, Dayo Gunshola, NTA News.
In other news, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has warned that Nigeria's indigenous languages are on the verge of extinction if urgent steps are not taken to protect them. The minister stated this in his address at the opening of a two-day roundtable on cultural orientation jointly organized by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture and the National Institute for Cultural Orientation in Kaduna. Anthony Forson reports.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed, who described the situation as alarming, attributed the threat to the decline in the usage of indigenous languages by parents to their children and the inability of people to read or write in their mother tongue.
I wish to reiterate the commitment of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari to accord our culture its pride of place in our developmental agenda. We will leave no stone unturned to ensure that our cherished cultural legacies and values are transmitted from one generation to the other.
Other measures the minister enumerated include the translation of the nation's literature into indigenous language and television series, citing the emergence of social media as another potent platform to promote indigenous language.
The role of the electronic media in disseminating, aggregating, and curating our indigenous languages cannot be overemphasized. There is serious potential in the plethora of programs on radio, television, and on the web to spread the comprehension, appreciation, and adoption of indigenous languages.
In his keynote address, chairman of the leadership group, Sam Nda Azar, said indigenous language newspapers are key to any strategy targeted at national development, therefore should not be underestimated.
Indigenous language newspapers, like any other newspaper, must be run as a business if they must be sustained. That is the only way to go.
Across our country, the many triumphs of cultural advancement in the last 150 to 200 years has been occasioned by literacy and cultural production in our indigenous languages.
It is pertinent to state here that the focus on indigenous language newspapers will go a long way to draw national attention to their invaluable contributions to the promotion and sustenance of our indigenous languages and culture.
The annual roundtable is aimed at enhancing the potentials of indigenous language newspapers to serve as catalysts for cultural renaissance and grassroots mobilization. From Kaduna, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Today is World Family Day. It is a commitment by the United Nations for people around the world to advance the cause of united and solidified families. And as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to observe the day, Talatu Ezerike looks at renewed efforts for the overall growth of the family unit in national development.
The family unit serves as the bedrock of the society. The Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development says there are more than 21 million families in the country's population of 180 million. Across families are challenges, a perception of social neglect and facing poverty within the context of being strong and coping with bringing up children in the right way for societal stability.
See, they pray, make everything good. Because of hungry day, the husband and wife are not understanding themselves because of he doesn't supply what he do always supply to them, give them.
For those in the Northeast, the issue of insecurity was before now a major challenge that displaced many families, which the federal government tackled head-on.
The government has done excellently well because the average woman in Borno now enjoys security in terms of freedom of movement.
There are other federal government social intervention programs like the school feeding program and government enterprise and economic program targeted at all strata, particularly the rural poor, in building vibrant families.
The federal government looked at palliatives, things that will bring people out of poverty, things that will enroll our children in school.
Analysts say there is a legal dimension in supporting efforts at uplifting the family, particularly with Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, VAP. Under the law presently operational in Abuja, abandonment of spouses and children attracts imprisonment.
If probably you have been in the habit of trying to get a woman to just give birth or turn her into a breeding factory, you just now run away and abscond. That is an offense under the law.
This year's theme focuses on improving the well-being of families and their education. Many suggest that families should have more opportunities for enlightenment to enhance family socialization process for tasks ahead. Talati Ezerike, NTA News.
The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons and Other Related Matters, NAPTIP, and Women Trafficking and Child Labour Eradication Foundation, Whatcliff, are agreed that the scourge of human trafficking can only be fought frontally with aggressive awareness campaigns at the local, state and federal levels. The consensus was reached in Abuja at a meeting with Whatcliff Board of Trustees and the management of NAPTIP. Gabriel Odu reports.
Human trafficking involves the recruitment and transportation of humans from one country to another for the purposes of forced labor or sexual exploitation. It has been described as modern-day slavery, hence the partnership between NAPTIP and Whatcliff to stem the tide.
In the next few months, therefore, NAPTIP will come up with a template to ensure comprehensive synergy amongst all stakeholders. We will not impose this template on stakeholders, but will hold discussions on it. And anyone who runs foul of it afterwards will face necessary sanctions.
Leader of Whatcliff delegation and former executive secretary of NAPTIP, Carol Ndaguba, believes that a stronger partnership with NAPTIP will do the needful.
The bottom line is that we are fighting trafficking, and the two agencies are doing that.
All the victims in our shelter, if they have any health issues, we take them to the hospital where NAPTIP has retainership so that they can have free health services.
At the moment, Whatcliff has sheltered NAPTIP's 185 trafficked victims, with 4 undergoing studies in Nigerian universities. From NAPTIP headquarters in Abuja, Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
And you can watch this broadcast live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And still to come, criminal hideouts give way to development site. The details shortly.
Glow is in the air. It's data. It's what you use every time you download music. It's what streams movies. It's what the banks use to check your account.
It's the very lifeblood of modern living. Data. And where does it all come from? According to industry sources, more and more of it came from here. They acknowledge that Glow is now the largest data network in Nigeria. With your own Glow One submarine cable linked seamlessly to tens of thousands of kilometers with your own fiber optic cable. Glow can provide huge data capacity anywhere at a more flexible and affordable price than anyone. It's simple. So you see, Glow is in the air. It's everywhere. Say hello to the Grandmaster.
These data plans are available to all new customers and existing customers who renew their plans. Dial *777#. The largest data network, Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
Do you intend traveling for the Laser Hajj, Umrah, and other business trips to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? If yes is your answer, then here is good news from Osman Air. Come Thursday, the 11th of May, 2017, Osman Air will commence 2 flights weekly to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This is indeed a rare opportunity for you and those who had sleepless nights and suffered in the hands of non-promising agents. Osman Air, one of the Africa's growing airline, is reliable, time-conscious, with safety records that gives you maximum comfort. For more details, contact Osman Air Head Office, number 1, Zaria Road, Kano, Nigeria, or customer care on 090-9980-0600 or 090-2980-0600. Email info@airosman.com or our website www.airosman.com. Fly safe, fly Osman, Osman Air.
Hello, I just got back from the States and I need a SIM so I can have a number.
Bonus you need.
What's nyafu?
If you join MTN, you go enjoy bonus bracket.
What's bracket?
See, any bonus we then give you, you go fit to do anything where you like with them. Chatting, browsing, texting, calling, to any network for Nigeria, and no condition at all. Completely free dot. Everything in Baku.
What's Baku?
If you buy the charge card 100 naira, they go give you 600 naira. If you call the charge 200 naira, as a big baby to is now, they will give you 1,200 naira.
Hey, Rosie, show me the way now.
Get an MTN SIM, register it, and get 6 times of all your recharges every time you recharge, and much more.
MTN, everywhere you go.
The Nigerian Communications Commission NCC has declared 2017 as the year of the Nigerian telecom consumer. The year will focus on all issues concerning the consumer. Efforts will be made to educate, inform, and empower the Nigerian telecom consumer. The Lagos launch of the program will be held at the Blue Roof LTV Complex, Agidingbi, Ikeja, on Wednesday, May 17, 2017 at 11 a.m. Special guest of honor, Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode. Guest of honor, Speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. Chief host, Professor Omar Garba Dambata, Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, NCC. The event will also feature the presentation of Face of the Nigerian Telecom Consumer, Helen Paul, also known as Tatafo, and Ali Nuhu, Emir of Kannywood. All telecom stakeholders, service providers, consumers, consumer advocacy groups, and government officials are invited to attend. All invited guests are expected to be seated by 10:45 a.m. Announcer Tony Ojobo, Director Public Affairs, NCC.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights. How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
Daily Times is 91. In line with the celebration, Daily Times Nigeria is set to honor distinguished personalities with the Time Heroes Award 2017 for outstanding achievements in leadership. Date the 16th of May 2017. Venue, Abuja International Conference Center. Chairman of the event, Aremu Olusegun Oshoba, former governor of Ogun State and former MD of Daily Times. Keynote speaker, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, former governor of Lagos State. For more information and listed nominees, visit www.dailytimes.ng. Daily Times at 91. We honor our heroes. Join us for a night of honor, glitters, and celebration.
Helen! Your kitchen gets 10 out of 10.
Thank you.
This also gets a 10. Should we see the toilet now?
Sure.
This gets just 1.
It is clean.
But not perfect 10.
Better than my detergent and bleach? Impossible.
Challenge? Try Apex compared to bleach and detergent. Apex sticker formulation removes yellow stains times better, giving you a sparkling clean toilet.
Wow.
Now you also take that?
Perfect 10x challenge.
Also available in 200 ml pack for 200 naira only.
Thanks for staying with us on the news. The slum and hideout of criminals between the Federal Capital Territory and Nasarawa State in Old Karu Orange Market in Mararaba area has been cleared by Nasarawa State Government for development under the state's Site and Services Scheme. Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura has performed the groundbreaking ceremony, promising to replicate same across the state. Abdullahi Garba Bernunkudu has details.
Despite its proximity to the Federal Capital Territory, Karu is characterized by slums and filthy environment, which some criminals take advantage of as hideout. With the introduction of the state government urban renewal program under the Site and Services Scheme, needed infrastructure will be provided for decent accommodation and address other topographical challenges. Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura says the state government will replicate the project for the state to benefit from its proximity to the federal capital.
Want to ensure security by evacuating all the hoodlums that have made this place a sanctuary of their activities. Second, environmental sustainability and protection. This had been an area that is so clumsy, so ridden with pollution of waste, and we are living near the federal capital. We should support the federal capital to be what it's supposed to be.
Other contributors, including the ASU Karu, describe the scheme as a good opener for development.
Good planning, especially of housing development, entails a healthier environment for the people.
Karu is a border local government between Nasarawa State and the FCT. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Bernunkudu, NTA News.
As part of efforts to improve funding for reproductive health and child spacing, a leadership training for women has begun in Abuja. Executive Secretary, Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, PITAD, Sharon Ikiazo, who is a gender activist, says women must make a case at all levels of government. Musa Abubakar reports.
Although women have made substantial gains in assuming leadership positions as well as advocates for reproductive health and child spacing in sub-Saharan Africa, unmet needs for modern health demands remain a challenge. Insufficient funding for child spacing and delay or non-release of budgeted funds when it exists constitute a major impediment. As part of the effort to reverse the trend, the workshop seeks to equip women on leadership skills that will enable them to influence decision makers to support child spacing and reproductive health.
The highest calling for me in leadership is being able to drag other women up and also to unlock the potentials of other women. It takes me back to mentoring. We have to learn how to mentor.
We as leaders need to set the role and the way for others to behave in an ethical manner.
When we don't give up, we get it done. When we get it done, we sustain it. When we sustain it, it becomes for life.
The workshop is expected to equip women towards advocating increased funding for reproductive health services, particularly child spacing, and improve their leadership role. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NT News.
And time now to link up with Demola in our Lagos Network Center for more reports on the news. Good evening, Demola.
Good evening, Cyril, and a warm welcome to Lagos. A former aviation minister, Femi Fani-Kayode, charged with 4.6 billion naira money laundering, has been rearranged by the EFCC following the withdrawal of Justice Muslim Hassan. Vera Chimoba, who was at the Federal High Court, now reports.
The former aviation minister, Femi Fani-Kayode, is charged with former Minister of State Finance, Nenadi Usman, and former national chairman of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, Yusuf Danjuma. Also charged is a company, Giant Trust Dimensions Nigeria Limited. The EFCC had preferred a 17-count charge against them, which they had pleaded not guilty. Justice Muslim Hassan, who had been presiding over the case, had in a ruling withdrew from the criminal trial of the accused, following an accusation by counsel to Fani Kayode, Norris and Quakers, who urged the judge to step aside from the suit in the interest of justice. They were rearranged today before Justice Mohammed Aikar on existing charges. He also granted them bail on existing terms of bail. The court adjourned to the 22nd of this month a suit seeking a final forfeiture to the federal government, the sum of $5.8 million belonging to the former First Lady, Patient Jonathan. Justice Mojisola Laterego further adjourned the suit in view of the argument by counsel to Jonathan Ifedaya Adedipe that the respondent was not availed sufficient notice to file a response. Furthermore, absence of an interpreter also stalled the continuation of trial of the two Chinese charged with importation of substandard tires. Justice Mojisola Olaterego has fixed the 5th of July for further hearing. In Lagos, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
The managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Hadiza Bala Usman, says that Nigerians, especially port users, will soon heave a sigh of relief as plans are on by the authority in collaboration with the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing to reconstruct the Apapa Port roads in Lagos. She disclosed this during an inspection tour of the port access roads.
Considering the economic benefits accruing from the nation's premier port, stakeholders in the nation's maritime domain have begun to synergize efforts to facilitate ease of doing business at the Lagos ports area. The managing director, NPA, who inspected the port roads, hinted that several meetings have been held with the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, and they have reached an agreement to jointly reconstruct the roads.
One of the initial ones that we've agreed on is the full reconstruction of the wharf road. We're embarking on that with Dangote and Lab are coming to work with the Nigerian Ports Authority on the full reconstruction.
While meeting with stakeholders in the maritime sector, Hadiza Bala Usman also disclosed that the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing will be providing engineering designs for the reconstruction of Creek and Liverpool roads for a lifespan of 30 years.
Total cost for this project is 4.3 billion naira. The two entities are willing to fund to the tune of 2.5 billion naira within themselves. The MPA is now providing the funding to cover, this is 1.8 billion, to ensure that the road is done.
The project is expected to commence this month with a period of 10 months for reconstruction.
The minister has confirmed that he would request the approval of the Federal Executive Council at its meeting on Wednesday to obtain the necessary approvals for us to embark on this.
The managing director also called on the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing on the need to address the issue of holding bays. She stated that developing call-up system for trucks will go a long way in easing traffic in the ports area.
In a bid to foster transnational investment between Nigeria and China, the Nigeria Governors Investment Forum has met with some Chinese investors to strategize on areas of collaboration.
On April 13, 2017, and in a bid to foster transnational investments between Nigeria and China, the first edition of the Nigeria Governors Investment Forum was held in Guangzhou, China. Participants from two countries conducted in-depth discussions and case sharing on the theme of the forum, sustainable cities and livelihood.
Only the warranty. Okay, the warranty is part of it. And
in these clips, we see the Nigerian delegates being taken on a tour around the GAC factory in China, in which the GSC Motor GA8 and GS8 were produced. The GSC Group, owner of the Chinese automaker GSC Motor, has assured the Nigerian market of the manufacturer's sincere commitment to offering high-quality products and services to its customers in Nigeria.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We have more reports ahead on the news from Abuja when we return after this timeout.
That was close.
Yes, luckily I have happy cover.
Oh, I have happy cover too. Sorry about your house.
Actually, I have happy cover also, so
SMS happy to 22865 and we'll call you back.
Maybe he needs happy.
SMS now. Live happy with Leadway Assurance, ensuring happiness since 1970.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights.
How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Xiaomi A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
Where is the pulp? The pulp. Where is the pulp? Where is the pulp?
Taste the goodness of real orange pulp in every gulp.
Where is the pulp?
Fiber Life Pulpy Orange, now in your neighborhood.
What makes a Naija mom powerful?
I encourage my kids to learn new things, and if they get hurt, I rely on the power of my Dettol's 1 capful to fight germs.
My family needs protection from germs. I use the power of Dettol's 1 capful to disinfect surfaces and clothes.
I trust the power of Dettol's 1 capful for bathing. The power of Dettol's 1 capful protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Be a powerful Naija mom with Dettol.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria announces its 5-day national workshop on International Public Sector Accounting Standards, IPSAS. Date Monday 12th to Friday 16th May 2017. Venue, the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, Tupu Badagry. Expected participants of the national workshop are accountants, auditors, budget officers, finance officers, and other officers saddled with the responsibility of preparation of financial statements and financial control in the federal and state MDAS. Fee 100,000 naira per participant, excluding lodging and feeding. Note, arrival and registration Sunday 11th June 2017. Account name ASCON E-Collection Account. Account number 023 0055 861019. For information, please contact Announcer, Director General, ASCON.
More news now from Abuja. Economic watchers hailed the injection of additional $500 million into the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority as the government plans to invest more in youth empowerment to actualize Nigeria's economic recovery and growth plan. Shikeola Ikpinaye tells us more on Business News.
Good to have you join us on Business News. Nigerian economic watchers have expressed optimism over the fresh injection of $500 million into the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, NNIA, saying it will go a long way in helping the government actualize its notions of providing better life for Nigerians. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo in Abuja inaugurated the new board of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, NSIA, and disclosed that fresh injection of $500 million will be put into the scheme. At the inauguration of the board, Acting President Osinbajo said the fund was part of the federal government's drive for economic growth and infrastructure development and charged it to improve on the performance by investing in key priority areas of the government, such as in agriculture and infrastructure. Economic watchers believe the gesture, in spite of the current fiscal constraints, shows federal government's commitment to improve the performance of the authority and strengthen its operations as part of its commitment to savings. The newly inaugurated board is chaired by Mr. Babajide Zaitlin and will serve for a term of 4 years. The federal government says it will continue to invest in the youth to actualize the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, ERGP. Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udo Udoma, while responding to questions in his office, affirmed the plan seeks to create a platform for all Nigerians to grow.
When we tap
the resources of our youth, we can really transform this nation.
He said though they met our economic severely battered, government is determined to get it fixed and will do so.
Right now, we have turned things around. There's increasing confidence in the economy and in the future. We still have a lot of work to do, but things are very positive.
The minister solicited the support of Nigerians to make the ERGP a success. The Economic Recovery and Growth Plan is a 4-year plan designed to pull the economy out of recession and to reposition it for sustained, inclusive and expansionary growth. Director of Policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Moses Tule, has said that with a well-implemented Economic Recovery and Growth Plan of the federal government, the outcome should be different from the 1.9% IMF forecast for the country. The International Monetary Fund IMF had on May 9 forecast a meager 1.9% for Nigeria in 2018, owing to a consistent lull in global commodity prices. In a presentation on the IMF Sub-Saharan Outlook in Abuja, Tule noted that the shock in the prices of commodities adversely hit about 83% of countries in the region, adding that for resource-intensive countries, it triggered huge budgetary constraints and fiscal deficits.
The price shocks precipitated significant record economic downturn in sub-Saharan Africa in 2016.
He said huge public debt also followed due to large borrowing, with inflation skyrocketing to as high as 18.2% in Nigeria and 42% in Angola. And equities on the Nigerian Stock Exchange lost steam to begin the week in the red, with the all-share index losing by 2.41%. Let's take a quick look at the closing figures at the Nigerian Stock Exchange this Monday. And that's it for now on Business News. I'm Shikeola Ikpenaye. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Shike. The Senate says comments by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibe Kachuku, on the ongoing process of passing the Petroleum Industry Bill into law are incorrect. In a statement, Senate spokesman Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi said the PIB has got to the final stage and is scheduled to be passed as a private member's bill before the second anniversary of the 8th Senate. Senator Sabi Abdullahi described it as erroneous for the Petroleum Resources Minister to say in Houston that there is a disagreement between the Senate and the House of Representatives over the PIB, which has delayed its passage. And following the return of normalcy to the northeast, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, is to resume oil exploration in the Chad Basin. Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Dr. Mekan Tibaru, represented by the Chief Operating Officer, Gas and Power of the NNPC, Saidu Mohammed, gave the assurance when he visited the Governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, and the Shehu of Borno, Alhaji Abubakar Ibn Umar Garbe El Kanemi in Maiduguri. While commending the efforts of President Buhari and security chiefs for restoring peace in the region, the NNPC Group Managing Director promised to increase oil production from 1.9 million barrels per day to 3 million barrels by prospecting oil in the inland basin.
We are coming back in NPC, we are reconvening, and when we are coming back in a new way in terms of the technology that we will deploy. Today, technology has moved. Since the time we evacuated ourselves here, we are coming back to operate and deploy a new technology that will give us all those answers that have been so scarce. Today we will definitely get them, and not only get them readily available, but in very much good time.
At the Palace of the Shehu of Borno, the Group Managing Director presented relief items and solicited the support of the Royal Father in ensuring peace as the NNPC sets to resume work. The Borno State Governor and the Shehu of Borno, in their separate remarks, recounted the human and material losses the region has incurred but commended local and international bodies for their show of sympathy. National Refugees Commission donates to IDPs in Kaduna. Let's go over to our Kaduna Center where Abdullahi has details. Hello, Abdullahi.
Hello, Cyril. Good evening and thanks for joining us in Kaduna. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons has donated relief materials worth millions of naira to the internally displaced persons in Kaduna. Muhammad Umar Ajingi has details.
The likes of Paul Dauda and many others were displaced from the comfort of their homes following eruption of crisis in some villages in southern part of Kaduna State, while Hadiza Musa, an indigene of Borno State, was displaced by the Boko Haram insurgency, forcing her to take refuge in Kaduna. Since then, their prayers was a touch from a kind-hearted, well-meaning Nigerians, as well as governments to come to their aid so they could live a better life.
For the fact that we are displaced, we don't lose hope. We see praying for God intervene first.
Their prayers seemed to be answered as the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons immediately swung into action, providing the relief materials.
So this is the first phase. By giving in the relief materials, that we'll do further assessment and see how we can come in to provide durable solutions to the affected communities.
Governor of Kaduna State, represented by the Commissioner Stakeholders Relation Shehu Balarabi, noted that the ultimate goal of Governor Nasru Ahmad El-Rufai's late administration was to end the lingering southern Kaduna crisis.
I will also appreciate the effort of the Honorable High Commissioner of National Refugee Commission to come to Kaduna and witness the distribution of these relief materials.
The relief materials donated for onward distribution to the affected people includes clothing, food items, as well as medicine. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
The Nigeria Customs Service reaffirms that it is backed by a law to conduct a raid and impound illegally imported vehicles and other contrabands within the shores of Nigeria, citing Section 47 Cap C Customs Law 2004. Comptroller, Federal Operations Unit Zone B, Usman Shehu Dakingari, stated this while reacting to a recent incident that led to the destruction and burning of custom vehicle in Kaduna. Ahmed Umar Kudan reports.
Few days ago, some yet-to-be-identified hoodlums set ablaze one of the operational vehicles of Nigeria Customs Service along Alak Ilu Road in Kaduna Metropolis, resulting to mixed reaction as to what led to such. Reacting to the incident, the controller described it as unfortunate and needless, especially now that the service is working tirelessly to make Nigeria free from being a dumping ground for foreign goods.
Cap Section 47 is clear. Any goods that is improperly imported, we have the right to enter there and secure the goods.
Usman Shehu also used the opportunity to advise Nigerians to cooperate with the service in its effort to protect the interests of the country that borders on security and economy. Meanwhile, the leadership of the Motor Dealers Association of Nigeria Kaduna State Chapter comments.
We are not in part of it. We didn't contribute and we don't know who and whoever is involved in that issue.
As the Kaduna incident dies down, stakeholders are of the view that strong synergy is all that is needed between the customs and all the agencies and bodies it is meant to serve, so that a refit does not occur. In Kaduna, Ahmad Umar Kudan, NTA News.
And that report ends the news. From here, it's back to Cyril in Abuja, who has more reports. Cyril, over to you.
Thank you, Abdullahi. And up ahead, a beat on the global scene and sports. Stay with us.
Rise up this morning, smiled at the rising sun. Three little birds pitched by my doorstep, singing sweet songs. Our melody's pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
There's no limit to what you can do with data. With Data Network, it's amazing what you can make happen on MTN.
This is my message to you.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC impacts upon everything we do, including water we drink, the food we eat. They are important organs to the development of this country. And everybody should come out and join them and support them and help them to achieve the greatest benefits and success that they need to record.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Rebellious soldiers opened fire in Côte d'Ivoire's capital, Abidjan and Bouaké, in defiance of government order to surrender their weapons. And North Korea launches longest-range ballistic missile. Let's join Gabriel Odu on Global Tidbits.
Côte d'Ivoire's capital, Abidjan, second largest city, Bouaké, have witnessed gunfire as anti-government soldiers block roads for the fifth day. The soldiers are